What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We have another post from the Neville sub today that we're covering. Me and Lucifer are going to go over it, and it is called the Bewilderment Technique. Interesting because it is based off of a post from All Is Mind, who, if you've been watching, you know All Is Mind is one of our favorite posters on the Neville subreddit. So anyways, here is the post. And in quotes, this is the post from All His Minds, and we're going to get into it. So, and analyze and get a new frame of reference on it. So, my lover left me. This was a result of my past doubt and fears, of course. But because I understand the nature of reality, I was not sad. I could be sad because it was so big. Without this knowledge, my heart would be destroyed, LOL. So she said, it's the end. I don't want you. I don't love you. She ignored me, blocked me, and all the drama. But guess what? I just saw it as unreal. I just decided this will give me zero negative emotions because I know that this will only prolong the negative situation. Instead, I just lived in a reality in my mind where our relationship was perfect. And in less than 15 days, the reality was completely different. She contacted me and was sorry. She said she was lost and things like that, as if I really was in another reality. I have endless examples of my life, but the text would be too long, so I will end it here. Don't hesitate to ask questions if something is unclear. So here's where the post begins. Now, I was creeping on All His Mind's page on Reddit. I read this story and a few things stuck out to me that I wanted to share. I tried something similar. I decided to try this technique a little different that seems to work well with how others treat you. It is extremely simple and does not require much work, if any at all. Now, I'm just giving my experience with it. All you do is claim that you are now in a reality where this happens or that. Apologize for all the noise going on. Mochi has decided that it is breakfast time, and anyway, that is it. Now, I do not know if this will work for you, but I would try it. So a personal example was that the other day when I decided to just try it, all I did was claim that I'm in a reality where women seem to check me out a lot. I thought this would be a good test, since I'd be able to see results quickly. Now, my feeling when saying it was more along the lines of, I am almost confused, or like I just discovered this. So it was more like, I seem to be in this reality. I am not sure how I shifted into this one, but I am in it. I was not freaking out with excitement. Well, that's an important point to note. In my robotic affirmation video and in many videos, I've expressed how that calm and centered feeling is the feeling of naturalness that you are looking to get into touch with. And proceeding from that desired state requires to be in this balance on a scale or on a pendulum. If you imagine that one side is this super excited feeling and the other side is that fearful feeling. And in the context of dating, I always give this example of being out, going up, talking to a girl, and one guy, he's overly excited, overly like, oh, I need this to work. And the other guy's overly fearful, where he's like, oh, no, I don't think this is gonna work. It's not gonna work out, having all the negative thoughts, right? And avoiding the situation. Maybe he just avoids it completely and doesn't go up and talk to her. And in the middle, you have that calm, certain approach, that calm, and I think that this is where this post is going here, is that, oh, yeah, that's just the reality that I'm in. That's just the way things are for me. I just seem to get interest from women wherever I go. They just look me up and down. They just can't help but look my way. They're intrigued by me. I don't know why. I'm just that guy, I guess. Anyways, so I was not freaking out with excitement. I just thought that and basically told myself that I would see this reality being expressed in my world. Well, after I claimed that I wanted to go read Neville and write at a coffee shop. I usually go to this local Starbucks, but when I got there, the Wi-Fi was not available. So I left and went to a different one, but there was no room for anybody else, so I left that one and went to the Big B across the street. I enter there, pulled out my laptop and my Neville book. Then about 10 to 15 minutes later, 3 girls walk in about my age. Now, I'm not exaggerating, but they could not keep their eyes off me. One in particular just kept looking my way, and I was blushing not because I was being checked out, but because I was in this reality now where I am being checked out. That it actually seemed to work. I have an SP, so I really do not care about being checked out like that. It was more of a test. Another example was the other night I got into a fight with my SP. Now, this was one of those fights that called for a momentary separation of a few days to self-reflect. Well, I actually learned a lot about myself and why I do things. Last night was the night we were going to talk about it, and I just thought to myself, let me try this again. So I just thought to myself, almost like I discovered it again, I said, I seem to be in a reality where people are showing me a lot of love. I don't know how I got here, but I am in this reality. Then I drove over and we had a talk. Now, after we fight, she's usually distant from me, which is understandable, but not this time. She seemed to be coming on to me in a loving way. She kept kissing me on the cheek and hugging me and thanking me for this and that. To be honest, I was a little confused by the whole thing because it did not seem like her character. I just noticed a lot of little things that shifted in my world. I did not win the lotto or anything like that, just little stuff that did not seem ordinary. This is just the start of me testing this. I have done this and that in the past and had results, but I never really tested it. I did a random one with it claiming that I'm in a reality where octopi seem to always be mentioned around me. I kid you not, for the past 3 days, octopi have been mentioned in the most random places. I also did it with money just to try it. I told myself I was in a reality where people hand me money and an old man handed me a $100 bill for helping him exercise. Long story. But I really did not do anything and I could not accept it, but he told me that it's okay because he is rich. I would just try it if I were you. Here is a step-by-step. So now these are bulleted points. 1, treat it like a test. Think of something you desire. Try it out with something that has to do with others. Like, for some reason, people seem to be giving me money. Or people seem to always be complimenting me. 3, claim or assume you have entered in a reality where this desire is being expressed. Example, I seem to be in this reality where ... 4, feel as though you just found yourself there. Tell yourself that you are not sure how you got there, but you are there. 5, do not care or look to the world of Caesar, the 3D outside world, for confirmation. Just assume it. 6, do not do what you would normally do. Like in my example, I just pulled my laptop out and started writing and reading Neville. Just know it will be expressed. It will be. Understand this. Understand that, let's say people seem to always judge your appearance negatively, or you always seem to see blue butterflies or something along those lines. Understand that you are simply in a reality that you entered into that is expressing that. You may not know exactly how you entered it, but you are in it. My advice would be to just try it. Assume it and make it seem like you're confused by how good people are around you or something like that. Treat this like a test. Nothing more, nothing less. It costs you nothing and it works for you. Then again, you lose nothing. Every day, claim that you entered into these realities. You must do this daily. Do not make yourself equal to mice, where all you eat is the crumbs on the floor, when you can raise yourself to eat at the table. Raise yourself daily to a new reality by claiming it. Last part, this is a quote by Neville. Daring to assume that all things are possible to imagine. Put this one reality to the extreme test by assuming you are the person you'd like to be. Your reasonable mind and outer senses may deny, but I promise you, if you will persist, you will receive your assumption. Believe me, you are the same God who created and sustains the universe, but are keyed low, so you must persist if you would bring about a change. From Neville. Okay, so I had a post when I was in Salt Lake City last month in October of me and Devin. We were just walking around. I think the post is called robotic affirming, a how-to video. And that post is like pretty much us doing this test. We did this exact thing where we both together claimed that everyone, everywhere we go, just loves us. And we're always getting free stuff everywhere we go. And I kid you not, like you can go and refer to that post. We one of the reasons we went out to Utah was to go to this lantern festival. And it's, one of those festivals where you light the lanterns and you set them off into the sky, and it's awesome. It's magical. Like, I have videos of it. I should make a couple shorts or even just like a video, a compilation video or a review or vlog or something of it. But regardless, that was one of the reasons we went there. And now when we got to the place, they asked us, do we have this like special couples package or whatever? And I don't remember the conversation. I think that she just gave them the 2 tickets and she was just like, yeah, or whatever. And they just upgraded because we didn't actually buy that couples package, which was, they gave us a teddy bear, they gave us a bottle of sparkling juice and cups and a blanket and all this other stuff that we didn't actually purchase, but we just got it for free. And literally, we went to this place, Toasters. It's like a phenomenal sandwich shop that does, there's an art to making a sandwich, like as people think that sandwiches are just the most basic thing, and they kind of are, I guess, but when you have a really good sandwich, you know what I'm talking about. Like some places know how to make sandwiches. I had a hoagie at one of my friends' houses in high school, and his mom came and made us these hoagies, and they were fucking amazing. Aside from the point, anyways, Toasters in Utah. We went there. The lady there just starts giving us free stuff, gave us free drinks. And I also had a dream about these Sobe energy drinks that night, the night before we went in there, and I hadn't seen these in years. I grew up with them in California, and I grew up in California, and my girlfriend also grew up in California, and we used to see them everywhere, but we haven't seen them in like over a decade. And lo and behold, when we go to the fountain drink thing, one of the drinks there is this Sobe drink, which has these geckos on it. And if you know what I'm talking about, if not, it doesn't matter. But the point is that it was I haven't seen this in such a long time, right? And she gave it to us for free. Now, we were going around claiming that everyone loves us everywhere we go, and we were having great conversations with people. People were we went to a cider house, and the guy gave us free cider there. Like, they're brewing cider and beer, and he gave us free drinks there to take home. There was, what else? I think, the lady on the last day we were there, she gave us free coffee and free macaroons when we went into the bakery. I even made a post on the community post. The point being, like, almost everywhere we went, we were getting free stuff. And this post here, now the top comment on this post is, the best thing I did in my life was I decided to download the Reddit app and read all these beautiful posts and success stories, which is wonderful and helping me. Life-changing. Thank you. That's a crazy comment, best thing in her life is to download the Reddit app. But, I can kind of see where she's coming from, because if you're really putting these things into practice and you really are applying them and testing them, just like this person said, and just view it like a test, that's how you detach that importance from it. That's how you lower it from the pedestal and you take the goal off the pedestal. It doesn't have to be this all important, everything revolving around this if this works or not. Like, make it as a fun test. And I really love the phrasing here of, for some reason, I just happen to be in this reality where people are doing this. So it removes that needing energy that I talk about in my videos. It's like this, and it's more like this now, because it's like, I don't know, just for some reason, like, these girls keep checking me out. For some reason, we're just getting free stuff everywhere we go. For some reason, people are just giving me money. I mean, giving you money is interesting. That's an interesting test. I think that, me personally, I like the free test. Like, everywhere I go, people just love me, and people are giving me free stuff everywhere I go. because I feel like it's an easier test. He mentioned another test that he did about talking about octopi, and that's another interesting test. But for me personally, I think it's easier for my mind to, I have an easier time coming to grips with, oh yeah, people are just giving me free stuff than literally people are giving me money. And that would require me to kind of be more out and about in the fray, putting myself into situations where I could perceive that happening. Then going, like he said, he mentioned he went and helped somebody at the gym. Now, I'm not saying not to do this. I'm just giving you guys my 2 cents on this and what's worked for me. The free stuff works like a charm. It works like magic. You can just claim that you're in this reality where people are just loving you, giving you free stuff. And not only did people love us, like literally there was we were walking back from a bar one night or we went out to get sushi, but there was people out from the bar and we were kind of just skipping, having a good old time. And this girl that was walking by, she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I want to be involved. And that type of energy was the energy that we were just getting the entire time that we were in Utah. People just see us, they're like, oh, like they kind of like light up when they see us. And anyways, guys, like whatever test resonates the most with you, whether it's the free test or getting checked out, or, you know, a lot of people have talked about the free cup of coffee or always getting a parking spot. I love the free test. That's the one that makes me feel good. I feel the best about that. Because also, like, if you go to a cafe or you go anywhere, it's not like the people are just going to be handing you out money. It requires more movement in the 3D. And I like to make these tests or these things as effortless as possible. It doesn't take much for somebody to just love you and just be giving you that positive energy. Like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like, awesome. You know, having a great time talking to you. Or it doesn't take much if you go to a cafe for somebody to hook you up with free drinks, or to take things off the bill, or whatever. You know, very recently we went to my girlfriend's work and she gets an employee discount there, but the girl who served us just completely comped like these fancy artisanal coffee drinks that we got. We got like an orange spice matcha and a caramel apple cold brew, and it would have been like almost $15 for both of those drinks together, and she just like completely comped it off the bill. And so like that type of stuff, it doesn't take that much for the 3D to reflect that. Whereas if I'm going around saying, hey, everyone's giving me money, I mean, that's the likelihood that our waitress at the cafe or wherever we're at is going to just start taking out dollar bills and giving them to me. I don't know. My mind has a harder time believing that into being. Maybe that's some sort of limiting belief with me. I don't know. That's just the way that I see it. So that's what I would recommend. And as far as that goes, guys, do you guys have any experience with this? Have you guys tested your reality in this way? Let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear what has worked for you, because like I said, those kinds of tests are what has worked for me. And I would be extremely curious and interested and love to hear what has worked for you guys. With that being said, there are a couple more comments. Now, let me actually go, before I end this video here, this is looking interesting to me. So we have a comment that says, I do this. I call it out loud commands. State things out loud, but in a very normal, neutral, yet forceful kind of way. And that's interesting to note, because I talk about in my robotic affirming video, that neutral way that is a bit devoid of emotion can often be very powerful, because then it's simply, yeah, as a matter of fact, it's just, yeah, this just happens to be the way that it is, much like the way this person has been phrasing this. It's not this charged up with emotion thing that you hear a lot in the community, like manifesting law of attraction communities or self-help, self-development communities. And I'm not saying that doesn't work, because that can for sure work. Like Tony Robbins talks about getting into a state, and that is extremely effective as well. But these are just different approaches and different things you can use in your toolkit. So in a very normal, neutral, yet forceful kind of way, as it always had been that way. It seems to work best for me when people are involved, since they are me pushed out. Again, this is key. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about with this test. So one night, my mom asked me to go meet her and my dad at a bar they like to go to. I'm not really much of a bar person and I can get kind of shy. On my drive there, I said out loud in a very matter-of-fact way, I have the best night ever. 3 guys hit on me, I dance like crazy, and our table is the party table. I get there, and like usual, my parents are just alone at a table. A couple showed up that they kind of knew and asked if they could sit with us. The bar was filling up. They were really nice and funny, and I was laughing a lot. There was this guy from out of town who was standing out by out table, that's worded wrong, kind of talking to us. Our table, yes. He was dancing, so he asked if he could put his drink on our table, and we said yes. Before long, we had a crowd of people standing around our table for 4. Everyone was really funny, which brought me out of my shell. Our table was the party table. Now, here's the funny part. I never have men hit on me. I'm attractive, but when I go out, my shyness makes me seem standoffish. I think that's what it is. That night, one guy asked me to dance. Usually there's no dancing at this bar, but they were doing karaoke and everyone was picking really danceable songs. So I got to dance, which was also part of my order. He then grabbed me and said, listen, I know we don't know each other, but you're really attractive and funny. Do you want to get out of here and go somewhere? I wasn't actually wanting to hook up with anyone. I just wanted to get myself out of my shell and have fun, so I declined. After that, I had 2 more guys do pretty much the exact same thing. One guy almost wouldn't take no for an answer. Every single thing that I said on the drive to the bar came true. And that's awesome because it even almost upped the ante from what her order was. I've used it since for pretty much any family get together we have. Our family is large, and in the past there have been some family arguments due to some heavy drinking, 2 people in particular. On my drive over to my sister's house, she holds most of our dinners and parties because her house is the largest. I always say out loud, tonight is the perfect night. X is in a really good mood and doesn't drink very much. There's enough food for everyone and everyone has a fantastic night. We always end up remarking about what a perfect Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Easter it was. I love this. Every day, claim that you entered into these realities. You must do this daily. Do not make yourself equal to mice with crumbs on the floor. Raise yourself to eat at the table. Raise yourself daily to a new reality by claiming it. So true, since it really works so well for me, I'm going to use it more often. I seem to kind of forget about it. I like your reality where people hand you money. I'm going to try that today. So she likes the money technique. So I do this, but say like, how did I get all this money? Some always shows up. Now I like that because that is a bit more vague. How did I get all this money is more believable from my mind. And that's what I mean is like doing a test with yourself on what phrasing or what is more believable to you. Where's all this money coming from? How am I getting all this money? Why are people always sending me money all the time, always giving me money? I'm just getting money. I got money coming out of my ears. Everywhere I go, like I'm just running into situations where people want to give me money all the time. Everyone's wanting to give me money all the time. Okay, I've been doing something similar. The other day, I constructed a hypothesis that people help and support me and decided that I will collect evidence to support this. I like this. Nothing major happened, but I noticed how people would be more courteous than usual, hold open doors for me longer than necessary, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I always get bored with this after a day or so before I really form a new belief. I need to stick with this longer. I'd say this is the same way we built our damaging beliefs in the first place. We picked up an idea and looked out at the world through this filter. Then we would misinterpret our experiences as proof, and the next thing we know, this idea has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I'd like to just add to this that going on a trip or going somewhere or just being out and about, even in your town, but in a place where or your city, but a place where you don't know the people, can be an extremely good way of using this test. But you need to be out and about, like these people mentioned. That's what I mentioned as well in my video, because in the video that we post, like I said, in Utah, because going out and interacting with people is how you're going to see these reflections. You're not going to see this just by sitting at home. So, a couple more comments. I know this video is getting long, but I'm really, really like getting value out of this, and I hope you guys are as well, because I think this is just absolutely like these are absolutely fantastic little nuggets here. So I do this too. I'm a supply teacher, but I frequent the same schools. Staff can be a little cold, and whenever they're cold, I take it as a challenge. I say, they freaking love me to myself. So much like our affirmation that I mentioned before. All of a sudden, from having no time for my existence, they're asking me for my name and requesting me to cover their classes. One time, this teacher was such an asshole to me. My next visit, he literally went to the secretary and asked to have the supply that was assigned to his department to be removed and have me put in. Laugh my ass off. Okay, now all is mind himself comments here with a heart saying, for people reading this, you may want to read something similar someone posted a day or two ago. And there's a link. I think all those go hand in hand, and hopefully it will build up some more understanding. Might cover that post in the next one. And like I said, this is getting a little bit long of a video, but I'm going to cover a last couple anecdotal stories here. So I love this and it works. I went out today around the neighborhood doing some errands here and there, and by no means a 10, rather short, plain looking woman. I had zero makeup on, but about a dozen men were checking me out, all trying to catch a glimpse of me. The cute cashier at the store was also staring at my face and was extra nice to me, and I felt a bit shy, so I hid under my hat, and one man in a car with his partner backed up on a driveway to let me cross the other side with my bag of groceries, which was very sweet and gentlemanly of him, and it makes me wonder a lot how it can be so easy. Somebody wrote, I feel like if we all did this sub would be dead within 2 weeks. Somebody wrote, wow, this is a good tip. I'm going to start trying it out with money being given to me randomly because I seem to have a really easy time manifesting money. Haha, thanks for sharing. And that's awesome. That is so cool. I'm not saying that I have necessarily a difficult time manifesting money because I do have a good money situation. But me imagining strangers giving me money out of thin air is harder for me to grasp, and I want to actually work on that. Let me know if you guys have any advice for me on how to allow that to be more realistic and natural and neutral for me. I keep a log of my favorite posts on the sub, and this is on it. Thank you for posting this. Okay, last one. I did this on my boyfriend last night, and like 2 other things, which I still haven't checked, it worked instantly. It was 3 a.m. and I did it and actually felt confusion. What I wanted from his end was to be annoyingly affectionate, to for once crave me more than I crave him. I kid you not. I went to grab a drink of water not even a few minutes after that, and he grabbed my arm and started petting it. I was a little spooked, and after he asked me to lay facing his side, I was like, okay. I was honestly creeped out, but liking this. Then shortly after, this proceeding into the morning kept pulling my body like a puppet to hug and locked my wrist so I couldn't leave. I was pretty uncomfortable, I won't lie, but it felt good inside. We cuddle on most nights, but on some, we don't, LOL. But I was in need of it yesterday because I was freezing and he wasn't in the best mood the whole day due to pulling an all-nighter. I kind of felt myself leave this realm when I woke because I didn't have good dreams and I woke up all achy, tired, / overslept, but I'll get back when I feel better. I've done this version with great success, but only on practice targets like, oh, how strange to see so many 32 license plates on my commute. I don't know why, but I haven't thought to do this with my more intentional projects. Thanks for the reminder. I like this. I love this, mainly because the state of surprise is an easy one to fall into and hold. It plays off the way attention works neurologically. Well, I applied this today just like 2 hours ago. I was on my way to pick up material for my husband because he automated I don't know what this is. His automated peritoneal dialysis was acting strange. Usually the process to give you the bags and the rest of the stuff is pretty involved, but I kept applying this technique. With genuine bewilderment and curiosity, I seem to be in a reality where everything's working out in my favor. Well, lo and behold, I got the stuff super fast. Even the security officer was astonished because that is not the norm. Everyone was super helpful. Anyways, guys, a banger of a post. I hope that this has been insightful and enlightening for you as it has been for me. And that's why I love going through these posts. You know, a lot of these posts I'm going through finding them on the Neville sub, and I've gotten, you know, great comments from some of you guys lately, appreciating the posts. I appreciate you guys, and with that being said, much love as always. If you did find this helpful, drop me with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.